Steady man. Nice. And we have Guy Gaur and Sri Bhuvaneshwari. We have Arjuna. We have Dharma. We have Mr. King, Chaitanya Charan. Hare Krishna. We have Uday from Toronto. I'm in Minneapolis right now, actually. Yeah, I'm one of the northern states, and it's quite wonderful out here. Naman, Haribol, how are you? Let's see who else
Good
we.
that you're here, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Jai. We have Pavitra. We have Haripad. We have Purna Chandra, Vasanta. Nitai Priya is in the background somewhere, hiding behind Krishna. There's Ananta Shesha. Haribol, everyone. And I've got some water. And I've got to put some electrolytes in it. It's kind of warm. Oh, water. Yes. Yeah. So, how's everyone doing?
Good, Maharaj.
I feel like a
Krishna
mad scientist at the moment. Oh, okay. Everyone's enjoying the spring.
Beautiful.
In Vancouver, still winter.
Is it? What kind of temperature do you have there?
It's cold here. We want the Florida weather.
Oh, you don't want Florida weather now. Sorry.
Hot.
You want Florida weather in the winter.
It's beautiful in Toronto. It's 24 degrees.
Florida weather is really hot right now. 96 degrees.
96?
Yeah, 96. It was Tampa, but it was 99 this afternoon. Very hot. Very, very hot.
Hot and humid, I'm sure. Hot and humid.
Toronto is beautiful at 24 degrees.
24 is just about right. Just about right. Minneapolis, where I am, my guess is it's probably around maybe 80 degrees. Something. That's my guess.
Supposed to snow actually over there, Wyoming.
I'm not in Wyoming.
No, it's coming to Minneapolis also, the snow.
Oh God. Hard to believe. Just hard to believe.
I don't know. They're saying Wyoming and Montana, it's snowing heavily.
Hard to believe in May. I'm just not used to that. Okay. Good. Let us start with our pranams to Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Praname Namaste Saraswati Deve Varamani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sukhavati Mastadri Satari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare.
Okay. Om Jnana-tamarandasya. Jnananjana Shalakaya. Chakshurun Militan Yena. Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
I was born in the darkest ignorance.
I was born in the darkest ignorance.
And my spiritual master opened my eyes.
And my spiritual master opened my eyes
with the torch of knowledge.
With the torch of knowledge.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Good. I will ask our host, Vaishnavi, to tell us where we left off from the day before.
We are starting 1723.
1723. Okay, let's see. We got Om Tat Sat. We might tackle a few verses at this time. Yeah, right up until maybe 27. Okay, we're going to cover some territory today. I'm going to start here in 23. Om Tat Sad Iti Nirdhisho Brahmanastri Vida Smritaha Brahmanas Tena Vedascha Yagyas Cha Vegita Pura. Translation. From the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmins while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Jai, Hare Krishna. We're talking about those three magical words. Let us get some people to read the purport. We've got one paragraph. Well, we have 4 people to read. How's that?
Okay.
Vaishnavi, can you take charge of that?
Okay. Naman, you can start, and then Dhanraj. Purna Chandra, can you read?
Yes.
And Haripad, can you read? Okay, Naman, go.
Yes,
Okay,
Mataji.
but before you get started, just to let everybody know, I think everyone's going to get a chance to read today because we're going to include a few extra shlokas here. Okay? Go ahead, Naman.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. It has been explained that penance, sacrifice, charity, and foods are divided into 3 categories: the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. But whether first class, second class, or third class, they are all conditioned, contaminated by the material modes of nature. When they are aimed at the Supreme, Om Tat Sat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Eternal, they become means for spiritual elevation. In the scriptural injunctions, such an objective is indicated. These 3 words, Om Tat Sat, particularly indicate the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vedic hymns, the word Om is always found.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Next.
One who acts without following the regulations of the scriptures will not attain the absolute truth. He will get some temporary result, but not the ultimate end of life. The conclusion is that the performance of charity, sacrifice, and penance must be done in the mode of goodness. Performed in the mode of passion or ignorance, they are certainly inferior in quality. The 3 words Om Tat Sat are uttered in conjunction with the holy name of the Supreme Lord, Om Tat Vishnuho.
Thank you very much. Next person.
Whenever a Vedic hymn or a holy name of the Supreme Lord is uttered, Om is added. This is the indication of Vedic literature. These 3 words are taken from Vedic hymns. Om iti edat brahmano nistatam nama indicates the first goal. The Tat Vatyam Asi Chandradoya Upanishad 687 indicates the second goal. The said Eva Sumya Chandradoya Upanishad 6.2.1 indicates the third goal. Combined, they become Om Tat Sat. Formerly, when Brahma, the first created living entity, performed sacrifice, he indicated by these 3 words the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you.
Therefore, the same principle has been followed by disciplic succession. So this hymn has great significance. Bhagavad Gita recommends, therefore, that any work done should be done for Om Tat Sat, or for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one performs penance, charity, and sacrifice with these 3 words, he is acting in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a scientific execution of transcendental activities which enables one to return home back to Godhead. There is no loss of energy in acting in such a transcendental way.
Thank you very, very much. It's much appreciated what everyone has read just now. And let it be known that Prabhupada would sometimes use that address, Om Tat Sat. So it is important to us. Basically, when these three words come together, there's a lot of power, and it represents the Supreme Lord. So if you end a speech or an essay or a talk, anything like that, with these three words, let it be known that it's all auspicious. So somebody can say, well, why don't we just chant Hare Krishna? That takes care of it all. And, things are not limited to the Maha Mantra. We have other mantras we chant, such as Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. If we use that kind of argument, the Maha Mantra will do everything. Then there's no need for anything else. But to add a certain kind of flavor and a certain kind of awareness, other mantras are brought to us. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya was delivered by Narada Muni to his disciple, his very eager 5-year-old student, Dhruva Maharaj. We chant this mantra starting with Om in the beginning of Bhagavatam class in particular. And we always chant Om every day, all of us, whether you like it or not. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya. So we're just talking about the first word. Not much is said here by Prabhupada quoting the Chandogya Upanishad as to what the three goals are, but we can be assured that they are progressive, incremental steps that lead us to Krishna. So that's good. Sometimes we say that Om implies the impersonal feature of the Absolute. Okay, fine, not a big problem. We're not against Om, and of course, our Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we're not against the Brahma Jyoti either. It's not our preference, though. Om is a really good sound vibration to use when you're with a group of people and you want to get them started on chanting mantras. I've found that to be true. You chant one syllable, makes it easy for everyone, and just prolong the one syllable. Oh, even longer than that. And when you do that a few times over, holding in your breath and then sort of exerting it, it's very, very calming. It really creates a nice sort of a solemn spirit around you. It is very relaxing and has an incredible, calming effect. So I oftentimes, when I introduce people to the mantra, I begin with that, and then I might go to the mantra that was given to Dhruva, Om Namo Bhagavate, etc. And then finally we'll land everybody with the Maha Mantra. This really works well for yogis or anybody who wants to go through some kind of a meditative experience. So you might like to try the chanting of Om, and then with Sat, Tat, and Sat at the end, giving a greater shape to the notion of the Absolute. It's all good, and nobody should pass it off as being Mayavad flavored necessarily. Om Tat Vishnu Paramang Padang Sada. Pujaris chant that mantra starting with Om, and I think that it does have a very nice resonant sound at the end. And someone observed that if you put Om in reverse, it's Moo. That's what cows and bulls chant, Not that it will have a reverse effect. When you are hearing cows and bulls mooing, it's very calming also. Okay, so those are just some points if anybody ever wants to do a little more research on the 3 sound vibrations. All the power to you. Prabhupada doesn't say too much, and so we will actually move along. But before we go to the next verse, is there anyone who has any comments to make? Okay, good enough. Let's get one person to do the Sanskrit for 24, another person the English translation.
I have a quick comment, Maharaj. I'm sorry. I couldn't
Sure.
get to the keyboard in time. I was just appreciating how Srila Prabhupada always ended his letters with Om Tat Sat.
Yes, that's right. We mentioned that in one of the prefaces. I believe we said he did that, and it's really classy when you read it. It's really great. He didn't say Hare Krishna, right? He didn't say Jai Radhe. You know, even when somebody in Vrindavan would say Jai Radhe, Prabhupada would say Hare Krishna. So he didn't say Hare Krishna at the end of some of his notations. He would actually just end up with, in this case, Om Tat Sat. Yep, beautiful. And I guess just remind us at the end of our little session, we should say Om Tat Sat. Okay, one person can do the Sanskrit, another one the translation, and then we can very slowly read the purport. So that's 3 people in the queue. Vaishnavi, you want to line up our people?
Manasi Ganga, you can read and Dharma Prabhu can read. Maybe both of you together can read. That will work actually.
Oh, that's sweet.
And Nitai Priya, are you able to read or no? Pavitra?
I can read, Mataji.
Okay, so Nitai Priya and then Pavitra.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my answers. Goes to Srila Prabhupada, glories to you. Tasmad Om iti udartiya yajna dana tapa kriya pravartante vidanakta satatam brahma vadinam.
Therefore, the transcendentalists undertaking performances of sacrifice, charity and penance in accordance with the spiritual regulations begin always with Om to attain the Supreme.
Okay, I thought the 2 of you are to read the Sanskrit together, but that's okay. Who's the next person in line?
Om Tad Vishnu Paramang Padam. The lotus feet of Vishnu are the supreme devotional platform. The performance of everything on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures the perfection of all activity. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, great. Okay, nowadays, like the other day, we opened up that Huntsville project, and I believe our MC read out the acknowledgement as to the grounds upon which we were, let's say, having our, Festival of India. Acknowledgement was given to the indigenous people. That's what you do at every ceremony in Canada now. You acknowledge who was there, who preserved that part of the land, who were the guardians or custodians, whichever you want to call them. So that usually should precede any performances, any presentations done. I don't know if it's like that in the States, but we do that in Canada, and it's definitely a nice start. It invokes a kind of auspiciousness. But so the same way we start every reading, any dissertation, any class, what devotees sometimes call lectures, you do it with some mantras, right? Om Jnana, or you chant Jaya Radha Madhava to invoke that auspiciousness. Now we are encouraged to use mantras like this. Om Tat Vishnu Paramang Padam. Pujaris do chant this before they do a yajna. And everything also starts with on an auspicious note. Om itself, as it stands on its own, has lots of power and casts its blessings on all. Yeah. Good. Let's go to 25 then. One person can, we have somebody in the queue, right? We don't want to leave anybody out. Was that Pavitra?
Yes, Pavitra, and then Uday, and then Vasanta.
Okay, sounds good.
Hare Krishna. Tat ityanabhisandaya phalam yajya tapa kriya dana kriyascha vividha kriyante moksha kankshibhi.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement.
Very nice.
To be elevated to the spiritual position, one should not act for any material gain. Acts should be performed for the ultimate gain of being transferred to the spiritual kingdom, back to home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
I thank you. Also, the Vedas constantly address the need for yajna, sacrifice, the need for charity, the need for penance. And the word tat is a part of that ceremony. Again, it's the Vedic mantra. It's a one-syllable piece, but it has power. And he's chanting this mantra and doing all this other stuff like charity work and so on, penances, is meant to get us, let's say, freed up from the engagement in sense gratification. That's the purpose. If you want to do something about your mind, which is a common question that people ask, how do I control my mind? It seems to be everywhere. Well, one answer is free yourself from sense gratification. Okay. Slowly or quickly, sometimes slowly is a little more realistic. Maybe if you get in the middle somehow, maybe that's the most realistic. But somehow or other, cut yourself loose from the entanglement that's there. Cut the umbilical cord. In other words, you're free now. Has anybody ever seen those Jim Carrey skits where he's like a grown man and he's still stuck to his mother's umbilical cord? Has anybody ever seen that before? Oh, it's so funny. Have you seen it?
I've seen Ask, but I'm not.
It's so funny. Let's say they're in some place, he and his mother go everywhere. He has to follow his mother, right? So then if he gets interested in a girl, then she yanks the umbilical cord and pulls it back in. Mom, why are you doing this? It's so funny. The concept is hilarious. Okay, good. So let us go then to the next. We have 2 shlokas, 2 verses. We have the translation. Those 3 people. We can probably get 3 people to read the purport. What do you think about that, folks? 6 folks, people all together participating. Okay, so we're doing 26 and 27. Vaishnavi, let's get some of those devotees on board. Vaishnavi?
Sorry. Yes. Vasanta, you go with the Sanskrit, and Manasi Ganga and Dharma Prabhu can read the translation together. And then Pavitra, Naman, if you're awake, Nita Priya, you do the purports.
Okay. So has everyone had a chance to do something?
Yeah, some of Guy Gaur Prabhu or some, they, yes, we all had. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay,
I haven't read yet.
Okay, but I thought you were driving. When you're driving, you don't read.
That's true.
You're
How do you
driving. Don't
respond to
read.
that? Okay.
So Vasanta, go.
Okay. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sat iti etat prayujyate prasaste karmani tata chabdah partayujyate. Should I read the other one? 27?
Yes.
Yajne tapasi dane cha sthiti sat iti sochayate karma chaiva tat atyayam. I can't see the other one. Hold on. Atyam sat iti eva vidayate.
The absolute truth is the objective devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The performance of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person or Son of Pratap.
Okay, we have a problem with one of the mics on when they shouldn't be on. Who's the culprit? Okay.
They both were reading together, Dharma Prabhu and Manasigan.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next.
Pavitra?
Hello. Sorry. The words prashashte karmani or prescribed duties indicate that there are many activities prescribed in the Vedic literature which are purificatory processes beginning from the time of conception up to the end of one's life. Such purificatory processes are adopted for the ultimate liberation of the living entity. In all such activities, it is recommended that one vibrate Om Tat Sat.
Thank you. Next person.
Okay, go.
The words Sadbhave and Sadhubhave indicate the transcendental situation. Acting in Krishna consciousness is called Sattva, and one who is fully conscious of the activities of Krishna consciousness is called a Sadhu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.25, it is said that the transcendental subject matter becomes clear in the association of the devotees. The words used are Satam Prasangat. Without good association, one cannot achieve transcendental knowledge.
Jai, thank you very much. Next.
When initiating a person or offering the sacred thread, one vibrates the words Om Tat Sat. Similarly, in all kinds of performance of yajna, the object is the supreme Om Tat Sat. The word Tad Arthiyam further means offering service to anything which represents the supreme, including such service as cooking and helping in the Lord's temple or any other kind of work for broadcasting the glories of the Lord. These supreme words, Om Tat Sat, are thus used in many ways to perfect all activities and make everything complete.
Jai. Nice. Thank you, everyone, for reading and listening. Again, these three powerful syllables are there to make complete your sacrifice or whatever is your step that you're taking towards the Supreme Lord. It just puts it's like the cherry on the cake. The icing is there. Put the cherry on top of the icing, and you've got it made. Again, somebody might argue, why not just Hare Krishna, the Maha Mantra? It's very true. But for a little extra embellishment, it doesn't hurt to chant an extra mantra or two. right? Adds a little extra flavor, variety, diversity. Some people, by the way, get a little upset. It's just always Hare Krishna Rama. Don't you do anything else? Now we have it. Yes, we chant Om Tat Sat. And again, like it's an additional feature. If chanting Hare Krishna is everything, why do we do havans or homas? Why do we do the sacrifices? Why do we need to read books? Even Prabhupada's books of chanting Hare Krishna is just perfect, according to the Acharyas, you know. But again, it adds a little extra complementary power to our endeavors, and therefore we engage accordingly. You know, we just wish people would just start chanting Om. You know, that would be very nice. When I walked through Nebraska, I mentioned to the lady from the newspaper, they're one of the major people, said, Om Maha. You've got a very, very good name for your capital city here in Nebraska. Om Maha. And this lady, she said to me, oh yeah, I know, it's very special. All my yoga teacher friends tell me that, okay? Om is what it is. It's God. Namo. I offer my respects. I offer my respects to the Om, to God. And He's at home. And that's where we need to go. It's not Rome, by the way. And I'm sure we can add a few extra little, rhythmic embellishments to rhyme with Om. Om Tat Sat, those are the three words which are often used in Vedic mantras, Vedic approaches to the Absolute. Okay, is anybody feeling good about doing the last shloka? We're zipping through here. We can. I think we can, and I think we should. So we've got somebody does the Sanskrit, we have the English, and again, we got about maybe 4 people who could read the purports. Nice and slow. And then we'll do thus the end of the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 17th chapter, etc. Okay. Can you put people in queue there, Vaishnavi?
Yes, Maharaj. Okay, so Arjuna, you can read now. And Dhanraj, after the third person would be Nitai Priya, and then Pavitra, and if needed, Vasanta. Is that okay, Maharaj?
Sounds good. Let's rock and roll.
Okay, then. The Sanskrit, I suck at this, but I'm going to do it. Asradaya hutam datam tapas taptam kirtam chayat asad iti uchyate parta nachatat pretya no iha. I don't know, say it.
Joy sounds Spanish-like to me. Next.
Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pratha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next.
Nice. All right, and the next person's 4 people.
Anything done without the transcendental objective, whether it be sacrifice, charity, or penance, is useless. Therefore, in this verse, it is declared that such activities are abominable. Everything should be done for the Supreme in Krishna consciousness. Without such faith and without the proper guidance, there can never be any fruit. In all the Vedic scriptures, faith in the Supreme is advised.
Thank you. Very good. Bravo. Next.
In the pursuit of all Vedic instructions, the ultimate goal is the understanding of Krishna. No one can obtain success without following this principle. Therefore, the best course is to work from the very beginning in Krishna consciousness under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. That is the way to make everything successful.
Beautiful. And the next person?
Should I do it? Okay.
Yes.
In the conditional state, people are attracted to worshipping demigods, ghosts, or yakshas like Kubera. The mode of goodness is better than the modes of passion and ignorance, but one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. Although there is a process of gradual elevation, if one, by the association of pure devotees, takes directly to Krishna consciousness, that is the best way. And
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Last person?
And that is recommended in this chapter. To achieve success in this way, one must first find the proper spiritual master and receive training under his direction. Then one can achieve faith in the Supreme. When that faith matures in course of time, it is called love of God. This love is the ultimate goal of the living entities. One should therefore take to Krishna consciousness directly. That is the message of this 17th chapter. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the divisions of faith.
Nice, bravo. We did it. So, Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat.
So what we'd like to hear from you is any comments. I think I would just like to add a few things. Emphasis is on sacrifice, charity, penance, and to do so with great faith. That's sort of summarized here. And to do everything for Krishna, chapter 9, yet karosi yad asnasi yajdosi dadasiyat. Do everything as a sacrifice or offering to Krishna. And then everything will be auspicious. There are a few things that you can do to make your Krishna consciousness a little bit better. So like no one really insists on you chanting Om Tat Sat. So like no one insists you on doing yoga, but a lot of devotees do take yoga for pranayam and for the asanas and so on like that. It enhances their Krishna consciousness. It might not be an end in itself, even sacrifice as it is when it's offered to Vishnu. It's meant to free you from karma. Just see how powerful it is. That's stated in chapter 3 from the Bhagavad Gita. Do your yajna and do it for Vishnu. And then bondage will be, your bondage will be taken away. So these are all things that lead to Krishna. You can look at them as Krishna incarnate, Krishna in full. Yeah, even if you say yoga is God. Okay, fine. But we also have to make a little distinction. We are encouraged to see through the eye of Shastra Chakshu. And so weekly when we come together, we do just that. We try to analyze everything from different perspectives, different points of view, even like that. But know it for certain that the exercise itself, the contemplation on what is being read or heard in itself is kind of a meditation. So don't knock it. Everything is there that's makes it good for advancement in the human form of life. And the human form of life is meant for getting closer to Krishna. So any comments at all?
Can I say something?
Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. I have a question, Maharaj. Don't you think we should be a little accommodative of people, such as those that may modify what we generally say? So, for example, My question is, like during our morning japa call, it's a audio only japa call. Some people say Om Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, and some others will say only once, usually at the beginning. Some others will say Om, and then they'll say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And some people, I think, say Om Tat Sat also. And then even in our temple kirtans, some people make some modifications here and there a little bit.
We can be a little flexible
Yes.
with people. The only problem is try not to go overboard. If we find somebody chanting Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, 16 rounds of them, we'll say, do you have any time for chanting Mahamantra? We'll have an issue. We also have a guideline, a Kirtan standard guideline, and that tells you a little bit about limitations. Don't get too carried away. Don't dilute the process. Don't introduce different mantras, even if they're bona fide mantras. Prabhupada would say, yes, that is Krishna, that is okay, but let us try to follow the acharyas. Let's try to do as they have done, and mostly they concentrate in this day and age on the Mahamantra. I don't think we have to scold or curse anybody if they've got another special mantra from a guru. But we just want to, through our friendliness, kindness, we want to encourage them to explain what is superior, what takes precedence here, and what is going to get you the greatest benefit. I think we have an obligation to explain those things. Yes, it's good, but you might consider the superior approach.
Thank you, Maharaj. And my other question is, in these few verses, Prabhupada, and I know, is emphasizing that one should try to go to the approach the spiritual world, which is very hard because we don't know anybody that has been there and come back, kind of, that we can understand. So can we say that all these mantras like Om Tat Sat and other mantras are there, but it is very hard to reach that level or go to the next level without first chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I mean, that's the first step to elevate yourself to the next higher step, kind of.
Yes, but it's also indicated that to get to that pure level of understanding the personal aspect of the divine, chanting Hare Krishna might come a little bit later. And all these others are somewhat, they could be prerequisites, How many people chanted Om before they got into the Maha Mantra? Many of us did.
Right.
So it's okay, but if the more you get seasoned in Krishna consciousness, the more you can see what it is going to take to help a person to advance, to the next level. Don't expect people to jump so quickly at what you were able to do, but see that they are slowly coming at you. That's okay.
Okay.
On the other hand, if we demand people to be, let's say, too transcendental, if I can use that term, to stick to Hare Krishna, and not introduce the Panchatattva mantra and the mantras to the Guru, such persons might also be in bad shape. And let's say maybe jumping too high, too fast, too long. Yeah.
Okay.
So do everything with great care when administering Krishna consciousness.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Good. Any other persons? I don't mind if we get into the takeaways right now. Because
go ahead, Maharaj. I was going to say something real quick, but go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Well, if you have something you want to say, go ahead. Yes.
I always remember that when we go on Harinam, that or like we were in the Hatha Yatra, and the people, they come and they don't know what we're saying, they don't understand anything, but most of the young people, they come and they see us dancing and jumping and partying, and they come and they're like, and they say Hare Hare, Hare Hare. They don't know what this is going on, but they go Hare Hare, Hare Hare. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah, it's okay. a lot of pop music, I don't understand what they're saying. Rap music is somewhat decipherable, but they go pretty fast at it, and it's hard to keep up. But yeah, most pop music, I can't. What are they saying? What I don't understand. Yeah, people just try their best. By the way, Hare Krishna might be a foreign language to people's ears, so we have to be a little bit sensitive about that and encourage them to understand. Depends on who you're talking to. These are names of God in Sanskrit, or you can say these are sound vibrations that have a lot of power to them, a lot of Shakti. You know, really, you have to know who you're talking to, who's your audience. You know, and but let them know that it's all auspicious, brings about good fortune, good vibes. Just like when people use four-letter words and things like that, you can say to them, it's just not very cool, it's not very sweet, and it brings down the consciousness. I think a lot of people believe that. And so on the other hand, if we chant names that are vibrations that are so elevating, then serves to make everyone happy. It raises the consciousness. Conscious living is what we want, where we want to go. Okay, so let's do some. Let's do our takeaways.
Okay. Yes, as far as the first takeaway would be from Anantasesha Prabhu. He already wrote.
Okay.
I have to just. My takeaway is chant as a sacrifice for Krishna. That's his takeaway.
Chant as sacrifice. Krishna, good.
So, Mansi Ganga and Dharma Prabhu?
Do Krishna conscious activities faithfully.
Faithfully. Yes, why not?
Dharma Prabhu?
Takeaway is, use Om Tat Sat and do the charity.
Can you say that again?
Use Om Tat Sat, then you do the charity, so it becomes complete.
Yes. Yes, no problem. Okay.
Dhanraj?
Om Tat Sat.
Hey, what is the fourth word, man?
Om. Om Tat Sat Om.
I see. Okay. Careful not to invent too many new mantras, by putting the Om at the end.
Purnachandra?
Keep Krishna in the middle, in the center.
Krishna in the middle. Nice. Bravo.
Guy Gaurav Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Vedic final is Krishna.
What did you say, final? What was that?
Krishna.
Okay. Thank you. Beautiful.
Arjuna?
Next.
Perform Krishna consciousness happy.
Happily. Happily. Okay, great.
Chaitanya Charan, are you able to say something?
Om Tat Sat.
Okay. Om Tat Sat. Do it in your truck.
Did I call Guy Gaurav Prabhu? Already.
No.
Okay, Guy Gaurav Prabhu?
You did.
I done.
Okay, how about your good wife?
Vedic final Krishna.
Okay.
Naman?
Chant from the heart.
Okay, thank you.
Nitai Priya?
Om Tat Sat Tutsins.
I got my takeaway after hearing Vaishnavi's takeaway, which is, yes, chanting sacrifice to Krishna.
Nice.
Pavitra?
Krishna, objective of devotional service.
Okay, nice.
So, Purnachandra, you already did that, right? Uday?
Take Krishna consciousness directly.
Okay.
Vasanta?
Oh, Hare Krishna. Bhagavan is the only reality.
Okay, all right.
Haripad, Prabhu?
We want to raise people's God consciousness.
Okay, good.
I think everybody is done, Maharaj.
Well, what about you?
Oh, Om Tat Sat.
Hey, that's someone else took that one. Okay, so listen, Bruce, everything should be okay for next week. I think I'll be back in Toronto then, a regular time. I just always have to think the time zone I'm in. And so we're 1 hour behind where I am now. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone. Hope you had a nice Narasimha Chaturdashi. If not, maybe on Sunday you'll have a little additional program. You enjoy it all. Give your heart to Narasimha Dev, the Lion Celebrity. Haribo.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Jai Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you.
Krishna Maharaj.